All right, guys, so we have an absolutely embarrassing story coming out of the Wall Street Journal about Joe Biden trying to go and kiss up to the Saudis in regards to their oil production, right? Because gas prices at an all-time high, and because Biden yesterday just announced that he was basically banning Russian oil imports, they're probably going to go even higher, right? They're going to skyrocket. And I'm going to keep it a whole 100 with you guys. I'm going to keep it a whole 100 with you. The only people that can really do anything immediately about gas prices right now is OPEC, right? It is the Saudis and the oil cartels, okay? They're the only people that can really do much about it right now, okay? Because, you know, obviously Biden didn't think it was important to bolster and incentivize domestic producers to pump oil out of the ground in the U.S., okay, so that we didn't necessarily have to be so dependent. But here we are in a situation of being dependent, and when you're dependent, you got to go kiss some ass, okay? And apparently, during Biden's attempt to kiss some ass, the Saudis and the Emirati leaders weren't having it, as they refused to take calls with Biden during the Ukraine crisis. So I want y'all to understand, there's a possibility of World War III going on here. Gas prices are going up through the roof. And in order for the U.S. to actually really hit Russia where it hurts, they got to hit them in the energy market, okay? And our biggest ally, allegedly, right, in the energy sector is Saudi Arabia when it comes to producing oil. And apparently, Biden tried to call Saudi Arabia to, hey, let's talk about you guys pumping more oil out of the ground. And they was just like, no, right, we're not going to pick up the phone call. So they're not even talking to Biden. They refuse to talk to Biden. Okay, that's how embarrassing this is. They're like, no, we don't like this guy. Okay, and I just want to remind you guys with this video of how the Saudis feel about Joe Biden. I know I played this in a couple videos already, but I'm gonna play it again because I've been talking about this a lot. How important this is. Okay, this is what mainstream news is not covering. OPEC is actually the biggest player right now in terms of gas prices than anybody. Okay, and they just not feeling Biden. They don't like him.
What we're now looking ahead to is we're waiting for remarks from the U.S. President Joe Biden. One of the measures he might announce is the release of a strategic reserve of oil and gas. The United States is a producer of crude. But will he then be, in your view, on the telephone to the king or the crown prince to talk a little bit about whether or not they too can help out by pumping out more oil?
Yeah, I think we have to put things into context. Last year, President Biden blamed the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the fossil fuel at the climate summit. And subsequently, Francois, 1 week later, he asked Riyadh to increase its oil production to lower the prices of oil. And it was a way to throw the blame on Saudi so he can cover up his primary responsibility for all his missteps after he knocked down the U.S. shale oil industry. So
are you saying that the Crown Prince won't pick up the phone?
It's not about picking up the phone. The U.S. will always remain as the most strategic ally, not only partner, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But at the same time, the current administration has made a lot of mistakes against the custodian of the two holy mosques, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the center of Islam, by calling it a pariah. So you call Saudi Arabia a pariah the moment you don't think you need it, and the moment you need Saudi Arabia, you call it a partner. Saudi Arabia doesn't like to play these games. So I think the United States, the ball is in the court of the United States to rectify the trajectory.
Yeah, so this guy's like, we don't like two-faced guys, right? We don't like two-faced people, okay? Because Biden was talking all kinds of smack when he was all big on renewables and woke on climate. He was talking all type of junk about Saudi Arabia, right? And then as soon as he needs Saudi Arabia, because Russia has invaded Ukraine, okay, and we need to punish Russia, okay, we need to ban their oil, right, without driving up prices here in the U.S. too much, you come crawling back to us asking us to do something for you when you was talking all type of junk, okay? That's what Saudi Arabia is saying, right? And again, I find this situation to be, again, fascinating because Biden jumped the gun on this, okay? If you're going to be dependent on a state, you probably shouldn't be talking junk about them while at the same time knocking down our own domestic oil producers, right? It's almost like Biden didn't think about what would happen if we're in a situation where we actually really do need Saudi Arabia, okay? And again, this is just another misstep from this administration, right? You can't bite the hand that feeds you until you can feed yourself. And we can't feed ourselves, but we're biting the hands that feed us. Okay, so yeah, the Saudis aren't having it. And again, allegedly, according to the Wall Street Journal, they ain't picking out his phone calls. And like I've been telling you guys, Biden low-key has been trying to tell OPEC, hey, could you guys produce some more oil? Please. Pump some more oil out of the ground. Please, please. And they just been like, maybe. But just not doing it, right? That's basically what's been happening. So let's actually read about this because this is embarrassing. I'm telling you. The White House unsuccessfully tried to arrange calls between President Biden and the de facto leaders of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates as the U.S. was working to build international support for Ukraine and contain a surge in oil prices, said Middle East and U.S. officials. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and UAE's Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan both declined U.S. requests to speak to Mr. Biden in recent weeks, the official said, as Saudi and Emirati officials have become more vocal in recent weeks in their criticisms of American policy in the Gulf. Quote, there was some expectations of a phone call, but it didn't happen, said a U.S. official of the planned discussion between Saudi Prince Mohammed and Mr. Biden. It was part of turning on the spigot of Saudi oil. Okay, so Biden called him up. Like I've been telling you guys, like for the last few weeks, I was like, yeah, Biden's gonna have to call up Saudi Arabia and be like, yo, can you do us a favor? Okay, and lo and behold, Saudi Arabia's like, nah, we're not gonna pick up the phone, right? Again, I guarantee you, if Trump was in office and Trump was like, yo, we need to talk, they would pick up the phone, right? No respect for Biden. No respect for this guy. Mr. Biden did speak with Prince Mohammed, 86-year-old father, King Salman, on February 9th, when the two men reiterated their country's long-standing partnership. The UAE's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the call between Mr. Biden and Sheikh Mohammed would be rescheduled. The Saudis have signaled that their relationship with Washington has deteriorated under the Biden administration, and they want more support for the intervention in Yemen's civil war, help with their own civilian nuclear program as Iran's moves ahead, and legal immunity for Prince Mohammed and the U.S. Saudi officials said. The Crown Prince faces multiple lawsuits in the U.S., including the killing of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018. So if you guys remember that, the Saudi Crown Prince is accused of basically calling an assassination on a journalist, Jamal Khashoggi, at a Saudi Arabian embassy, I think in Turkey. Okay. And he came out and said he didn't call it a hit, but he takes responsibility for it because it happened on his watch. Right. So now he's seeking legal immunity. They also won't help in Yemen. Okay. There's a proxy war going on in Yemen, in which you have Iran backing like the Houthi rebels there, and Saudi Arabia backing their own coalition of people, and they're fighting over there, okay? And the U.S. is with Saudi Arabia and providing support. So they want more help there, and they also want help with their own nuclear program, as basically the Iran nuclear deal is being put back into place. Well, Iran is going to, have some more domestic nuclear capabilities. So Saudi Arabia is worried about that. So essentially, with those concerns being at play here, and the fact that the Biden administration desperately needs OPEC to pump more oil out of the ground, they're trying to shake down the U.S., okay? They're trying to shake down the taxpayer and say, listen, if y'all want to talk, y'all got to pay up, right? This is our list of demands. Biden is getting shook down by the Saudis. The Emiratis shared Saudi's concerns about the restrained U.S. response to recent missile strikes in Iran-backed Houthi militants in Yemen against the UAE and Saudi Arabia, officials said. Both governments are also concerned about the revival of the Iran nuclear deal, which didn't address other security concerns of theirs and has entered the final stages of negotiations in recent weeks. The White House has worked to repair relations with two key Middle Eastern countries it needs on its side as oil prices push over $130 a barrel for the first time in almost 14 years. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are the only two major oil producers that can pump millions of more barrels of more oil, a capacity that, if used, could help calm the crude market at a time when American gasoline prices are at high levels. So yeah, like I was telling you guys, the most important player right now is OPEC, okay, in regards to oil prices. Okay, that's just the reality. Now, the problem is, again, because we've basically castrated our own ability to produce oil domestically, this is who we got to depend on. This is who Biden has to suck up to. And I was surprised that Biden would actually come out here and announce a ban on Russian oil without having secured some type of promise from Saudi Arabia to increase supply. Okay, because he hadn't secured any type of promise that OPEC was going to make up for it on the back end. So, again, this is some interesting stuff. Brett McGirt, the National Security Council's Middle East coordinator, and Amos Hochstein, the State Department's energy envoy, both traveled to Riyadh late last month to try to mend fences with Saudi officials. Mr. McGirt also met with Sheikh Mohammed and Abu Dhabi in a bid to address Emirati frustrations over the U.S. response to the Houthi attacks. The call with Sheikh Mohammed in early February was expected to focus on ways the two countries could counter Houthi attacks from Yemen. One U.S. official said the Biden administration has worked diligently to strengthen Saudi and Emirati missile defenses, and that America would be doing more in the coming months to help the two Gulf nations protect themselves. It may not be all the two countries want, the official said, but the U.S. is trying to address their security concerns. But the Saudis and Emiratis have declined to pump more oil, saying they are sticking to a production plan approved between their group and the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and a group of other producers led by Russia. The energy alliance with Russia, one of the world's top oil producers, has enhanced OPEC's power while also bringing the Saudis and Emiratis closer to Moscow. Both Prince Mohammed and Sheikh Mohammed took phone calls from Russian President Vladimir Putin last week after declining to speak with Mr. Biden. They both later spoke with Ukraine's president, and a Saudi official said the U.S. had requested that Prince Mohammed mediate in the conflict, which he said the kingdom is embarking on. Okay, so how embarrassing is that? So they declined a phone call with Biden, but took phone calls from Putin and Ukraine's president. Right? So they'll talk to Putin, but they're not going to talk to Biden. Bro, what is going on, bro? What is going on? This man has no respect on the world stage. Okay? None. Zero. We're supposed to be their closest ally, their biggest strategic partner. And they're like, no. We're not going to take phone calls from you. We'd rather talk to Putin. Guys, this is embarrassing. No matter what y'all think about Saudi Arabia, I get it. People don't like Saudi Arabia for various reasons. I 100% understand. They're still our ally, right? For various reasons. And when your ally is not taking a phone call from the president of the United States, the leader of the country, but yet they're taking phone calls from Putin, somebody that's supposed to be our enemy, that says a lot. That says a whole lot about how respected we are on the world stage nowadays. There is no respect. White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki said earlier this week that there were no plans to talk to Prince Mohammed anytime soon about oil, and that there were no plans for Mr. Biden to travel to Saudi Arabia. So Jen Psaki basically lied, okay? Because they had been trying to talk to the prince about oil, so maybe they don't have any plans anymore because they're not picking up the phone call. Saudi Arabia and the UAE forged deep ties with former President Donald Trump, who sided with them in a regional dispute with Qatar, pulled the U.S. out of the Iran nuclear deal that they had opposed, made his first trip abroad to Riyadh in 2017, and stood by Prince Mohammed after the killing of Mr. Khashoggi. But Mr. Trump's decision not to respond to Iranian drone and missile attacks on major Saudi oil sites in 2019 rattled Gulf partners who have relied for decades on the promise of U.S. energy protection. Iran denied involvement in the oil facility attacks. All right, so yeah, this is what is happening. Okay, this situation gets worse. And with that being said, the takeaway here, guys, is that don't expect gas prices to come down anytime soon, because the only people that, again, really can provide immediate relief right now are not even picking up the phone to talk to the president. So with this ban on Russian oil coming to the United States, prices are going to spike and they're going to stay high for a while, right? I would not expect any relief anytime soon unless magically Saudi Arabia and the Biden administration can get on the phone and really start to hash some things out, right? They can kiss and make up. Because, right now it doesn't seem like that is going to happen. But like I said, man, this is embarrassing. This is the most embarrassing thing I've read in a while when it comes to Joe Biden. And it just goes to show how much of a disaster this presidency is. It really is. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.